Criteria in choosing appropriate assessment tools. Technologies plays a crucial role in assessment tasks for teaching and learning. When selecting assessment tools, it's essential to consider various criteria to ensure their appropriateness. Assessment methods are the strategies, techniques, tools, and instruments that the teacher uses to collect information to determine if the students have attained the desired learning outcomes, and in the process, teachers select tools for assessment. When choosing assessment tools, we focus on three main things. First, we figure out why we're doing the assessment and what we want to achieve. This helps us pick tools that can show if students are meeting the learning goals. Second, we can test students directly with quizzes or indirectly through surveys. The choice depends on what we want to know about the student's performance. Third, deciding how often to assess students is important for keeping track of their progress. Regular assessments help us see how students are improving and where they may need to improve. When choosing the right assessment tools, it's a thoughtful process. We need to consider these characteristics in selecting the best assessment tools, whether traditional or technology-driven. Assess how well students are performing and what level of proficiency and efficiency is considered satisfactory. These help in understanding if the students are meeting the desired learning outcome effectively. Evaluate if the assessment tools is cost-effective in terms of effort, time, and money required to implement it. Ensuring that the tools is feasible helps in efficient resource utilization. Next, determine if the tools provides valuable results and information that can use to make decisions aimed at improving student learning. The tools should offer insights that can guide educators in enhancing the learning experience. Confirm that the assessment tools is reasonably accurate and truthful in its evaluation of students' performance. Reliable and honest assessment results are crucial for making informed decisions. Next, ensure that the tool provides dependable and consistent responses over time. Consistency in the information gathered help in tracking student progress effectively. Look for evidence of continuous assessment rather than one-time evaluation. Ongoing assessment provides a comprehensive view of student development and allow for adjustment to enhance learning outcome continuously. There are tools that we can use to evaluate certain assessment tools. These are rubrics, checklists, and rating scales. These tools state specific criteria and allow teachers and students to gather information and make judgments about what students know and can do in relation to the outcomes. It offers systematic ways of collecting data about specific behaviors, knowledge, and skills.
What is rubrics? These are sets of criteria used to determine the scoring of assignment, performance, and products from the students. It lets the students know what is expected of them to do before the activity starts. They are instrumental in rating research papers, projects, speeches, but they cannot be used in grading multiple choice tests. There are two types of rubrics. The first one is analytic rubrics. An analytic rubrics gives a student in a separate rating or score on each rate evaluated in an assignment. An analytic rubric is typically organized in a grid, with each rate in a row and each performance level in a column. Each individual cell of the grid contains a descriptor with the characteristics of performance at that performance level on the trait. Holistic rubric. A holistic rubric gives each student one overall score or grade for their work. A typical holistic rubric lists each level of performance followed by a description of student work at that level, incorporating descriptors for all the traits being evaluated. How to create a rubrics. These steps on how to create a rubrics. Record the performance objective. Identify the dimensions or tasks comprising the performance examples, speech mastery, voice quality, delivery, and audience contact. Identify the potential gradations of quality. Examples: poor, average, and excellent. Assign a point value to each gradation and a total point value for the assessment. Example: 3 points for excellent, 2 points for average, and 1 point for poor. Identify the criteria for each level of quality within a dimension or task. And lastly, create the rubric table.
Checklist. A checklist is a simple and commonly used tool, especially in educational settings such as classrooms. This tool is designed to help teachers or observers keep track of students' behaviors, skills, or learning progress based on specific criteria. The checklist typically has a yes or no format. This means each item or criterion on the list can be marked as either yes, the student has demonstrated the specific criterion, or no, the student has not demonstrated the specific criterion. This binary format simplifies the observation process and makes it easier to record and understand the results. So, in the process of constructing a checklist, these are some of the essential steps. So first, enumerate attributes or characteristics. So in this step, you create a comprehensive list of all the attributes or characteristics that you want to assess or check. These could be specific items, qualities, or criteria related to a particular task, process, or situation. Second, arrange the attributes. Once you have your list of attributes, organize them in a logical order. Think of it as creating a shopping list where each attribute represents an item you need to check off. Arrange them in a way that makes sense for your purpose. And third is student assessment. Now, involve students or whoever is using the checklist in the process. Provide the checklist to them and ask them to mark whether each attribute is present or absent. Rating scale. A rating scale can be defined as a standardized method of recording interpretation of behavior, which is totally based on observation, strictly in line with the educational objectives. A rating scale is a common evaluation tool used in describing observed skills and performance. So we have here the various types of rating scales that are commonly used. Descriptive rating scales. Next, the graphic rating scale. Numerical rating scale. Behaviorally anchored rating scores, or bars. We have here the principles in preparing rating scales. Rating scales should directly relate to learning objectives. They need to be confined to performance areas that can be observed. 3 to 7 rating positions may need to be provided, and the scale may be made more objective, valid, and reliable by getting a pooled rating from more than one observer.